I am John McClain. I am an interior designer and lover of all things home. I have offices in Los Angeles and in Orlando, Florida. I reside in Los Angeles. I have always loved everything home, and my family did too. And it's funny, when you're younger, all the things that you just kind of do naturally end up becoming part of your life later on in life. And then you realize, like, oh, that could be a career. So my family built houses. They were very handy. They did all of the tools of the tricks of the trade that they do with construction. And I learned a lot from them, and I loved it. I just loved every aspect of it. And so I bought my first home at 21, 1886 house, renovated it completely top to bottom, fell in love with it, and then kept doing houses for myself and for my family and friends. And then one day I was like, wait a minute, could this be a career? Could this really be a career? Could I really do something that I love? Because my education at that time was actually in business management. And I decided that, I had to do that. That's what the world told you to do. And I'm here to tell you, you do not have to follow what everyone else tells you to do. You have to follow your heart, because that is what has led me to where I am now, and all the great success that I've had. So I'm very fortunate to actually be able to follow a path like that I love. Everyone doesn't leave design school wanting to work for another firm. Some people do, which is perfect. But most people, I think, have ambitions of working as an entrepreneur and working on their own. And, I started out doing that very same thing. I've got horror stories that I've shared with people that would make you cringe. I have the horror story of horror stories, and I'll just touch on the highlights of it. But I've got so many. But essentially, let's just say that there was a situation with a client in the beginning where I did not have a written agreement, because I just trusted this person and felt that it was going to be fine, and we'd worked together for a while. Turns out, no. Guess what? That doesn't work in the real world. There are people who are very litigious and people who want to, bring up issues. And so long story short, the furniture was delivered to the house of the person, and I had to bring an armed guard with me, if that tells you anything. So, yeah. Mic drop. I'm on the business side of things, so I'm always thinking. I have left brain, right brain syndrome. It's literally, I'm split right down the middle. Creative one day, and then the next day I'm knee deep in marketing and technology and all those things. I know what's going to happen. This dynamic between designers and homeowners is going to go away. So this to the trade and excluding homeowners, it's going away. So as far as the vendor side of everything, there is going to be no division between who can purchase what, how they purchase it. And because of that, I've actually restructured my entire pricing model for my company to be appreciated for what we bring to the table, which is creative. So the creative aspect of what we do as designers is often on the back burner. So of course they can design, but I want you to be a schlepper. I want you to bring all the things from the warehouse here, and I want you to do all the behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, we can do that, but that comes at a cost. And so I really restructured my company to have creative, production, and then fulfillment. And the client can choose a la carte which option they want to go with. And that really does open up the possibilities, because I want to know in the beginning, if you're going to just choose some creative aspect, I'm going to choose things that you can buy on your own. If you want to choose the production aspect of it, where we handle all of the ordering, all of the returns, the damages, the warehouse, everything, perfect. Here is the production management fee for that. And it's really changed the way people perceive markup or, discount from retail. We don't have to worry about that anymore. And it's just really, really refreshing for myself and for our clients. People will always shop you. I don't care how much money we've done, $10 million homes, and we've done, $300,000 homes. Everybody goes on and starts Googling to see what that price was on that. So now I embrace that. And the lines are blurred. The lines are gone between what we paid for something and what the client can find it for. They're always going to pay less with us because they're paying our cost, but that we paid for it. But what they're also paying is that production management fee that's added on to that. And now I don't have to worry about anyone shopping us or finding something for less. They're never going to find it for less, number one. Number two, they're paying really for the services. So it's a realigning of the brain and their understanding of how the process works. I'll tell you this, when I first started doing design, everyone came to me like, oh, I can't wait to get your discount. I can't wait to, pass along that discount. And I didn't know any better because I'd never worked for a firm. I started working for myself, and I was like, gosh, am I supposed to give a discount for everybody? Like, am I running a nonprofit? and then I realized, no, I'm doing a lot of work for these people, and it's work that they can't do on their own, and that comes at a price, and there's a value to that. And now I just reiterate the value, and it's a whole. Once you stop and add on the things that you actually do for any job, but especially for interior designers, it's a list and list and list, a page and page and page of everything. And suddenly you're done and you're like, wow, I do a lot of stuff for these people. Calculating fees is the number one question that I get as a business coach and as an interior designer, and just doing courses and all those things from design colleagues. And I have honed it down to a science now. I actually have a calculator that I have made myself, and you can literally plug in the room, how many items you're changing in the space, if you're doing any construction, all of those things, and it spits out this creative fee. And then the creative fee is just for just for putting those things together. That has a tremendous value to people who have no idea of how to do that. Do they want to take that and run with it? Perfect. And then that's how we calculate the creative fee. So even if they didn't purchase products from us, I don't care, because we're still making enough profit from our creative services to move on to the next project and not be concerned with that. If they want us to handle everything, and by the way, most people do want us to handle everything, then we'll move on to the production and to the fulfillment side of it. But if we stop at creative, I'm totally fine, and it's no skin off my back. You mean this book right here? Is this the book you're Yes. I wrote the book for two reasons. One, completely honest, was a bucket list, selfish item for myself. I really wanted sort of this documentation of all the beautiful projects that my firm has created. So that was part one. Part two, and has since surpassed part one, was I really wanted to bridge that gap between homeowners and what they feel designers are and what they perceive of us, and maybe the fact that we're untouchable. And I really wanted to remove the haves from the have-nots and bridge that gap and make it accessible to everyone. And I've always been that person. I got along with the most popular person in high school, and then the person that no one would talk to. And I say that because so many homeowners do feel that they don't have the budget to do design, or maybe they just give up saying, I don't have the money to do that. I get so many DMs. I really would love to hire you, but I know you're expensive. And I'm like, how do you know? You've never asked. Two, I did not grow up in wealth. I was not in an affluent family. We worked hard for everything that we got. But there was never a time when our house was not beautiful and things were not beautiful in my own eyes and my family's eyes. And I just want everybody to be able to have that and to embrace it. After I wrote the book, I realized that there's so many things else that I want to sort of teach the world, and I broke that off into my courses. So now I'm offering courses for homeowners who really dive down deep in lessons from me. And so I'm teaching them all of the things that I touched on in the book in a very, very deep format, so that they can understand how to choose the right lighting, where to put wallpaper, how to add a focal point to a room, all of these things. And then for the designer friends of mine who, unfortunately, we're not taught business and design school. We're only taught all of the other things. And so I realized that there was a need in that market too. It'll be me on camera, just like this, speaking to everyone in my own Georgia Southern way that I do, and down to earth, no fluff. It's all detailed, very straightforward. And I just want people to get their companies to a certain point, and as far as managing their projects and managing their clients, and just the processes and the systems for interior designers, but also for homeowners. I lead them from step one until the final vase is put on the shelf. I dedicated the book to my grandfather, and my grandfather was my biggest inspiration. He could not read or write, but this man was brilliant, and he taught me so much about home building, home construction, design. And I honestly, more than I have ever learned in any textbook or college class that I took. And I will never forget the lessons I've learned from him. And he was the basis, and I always had him in the back of my mind as I was writing the book. And it's just, he was sort of guiding my hand. Clients do not text me or my employees either. We do have a no texting policy. So I lay down the law when it comes to that, and everybody seems to be respecting it so far. You set the boundaries for yourself and you stick to those, because customers will make their own rules for your company, and they'll try to rewrite your policies, and they'll try to change the way you run things because they've heard somebody else running it that way. Don't allow it. Stick to your guns and stand in your own space, and make sure that you keep the things that that are important to you. And those private moments and weekends and evenings, they are important to you. One reason I did that too, side note, is because I had a client call me text me, at 11:30 at night because he was drunk and he could not turn his shower on. And I was like, all right, and we're done with the texting, and that's never going to happen again. So he got his shower on, and I told him he was not to text me anymore.